Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I've been talking about 4680s potentially being introduced into the new Model S Plaid and long range. I've done some reasonable research into the new battery pack, and it looks like something is not adding up. Why do I care so much though? So what if they're using the 4680 or the 18650 batteries? What difference does it make if they're still generating this outstanding performance, you might ask yourself? Well, good question. As far as I'm concerned, Tesla have bet the future of the company on their success with the 4680 battery. This battery is so important to the rest of the future, any clues we are given to its success are a big deal. When the other auto companies catch up to the 2170 battery form, this will jump Tesla further ahead again, providing Tesla with a battery that has much lower cost along with other great features. But it's not just the cost saving, or i.e. higher profit margins from car sales. It's also the fact that they require nearly 1/10 the size of a factory to manufacture these batteries, meaning they can potentially scale the battery production possibly 10 times faster than any of the competition, just because of this fact alone. The 2170 form was a fool's errand. It simply was not feasible to scale. This was discovered early on, and is why the Nevada Gigafactory was only ever 1/3 complete. Tesla realized early on they had to find a better way to make batteries. Tesla soon purchased Maxwell Technologies, a company that was bought for their dry electrode coating technique, which significantly reduces battery production time, space, cost, and is better for the environment. However, it looks like the competition will follow a similar chemistry and design to the 2170, and will again be another reason why the competition can't grow at Tesla's speed. The old battery technology will just hinder their growth too much, with the lack of ability to ramp, unlike Tesla's 4680 batteries. The future of everything rides on the 4680 batteries. Tesla have built the Texas and Berlin factories to only use the 4680 batteries. Once these factories are ramped up, they alone might do in the region of 8 times the number of deliveries from just last year. 8 times the number of products sold just from last year. That is a huge leap in numbers, especially in such a capital-intensive industry as car manufacturing. Hence why it's such a big deal to get any inkling as to whether the 4680s are actually in production, and as to what level. Elon said by Q4, Tesla should be doing 1,000 Model S's a week. If Model S uses 4680s, then that is likely over 100 megawatt hours a week of batteries in the Model S. Scale that up, and we're talking around 5 gigawatt hours a year. Of course, this is the Model S. We obviously expect the Model X to follow soon enough with similar numbers, implying that Tesla are quite possibly going to be around 10 gigawatt hours a year for 4680s from Cato Road to serve the Model S and X. Now, is this so hard to believe? We were expecting this level of output from Cato Road by about this time, or even earlier. And I have to ask you again, would it not make a lot of sense to use the batteries in a factory very near where the batteries are produced? The Cato Road facility is walking distance to the Fremont factory. It makes sense on so many levels to be incorporating 4680s into your 2 top-of-the-range products, while the line has been down for half a year. And supposedly, guests at the Plaid event asked employees what batteries they were using, and the Tesla employees said 18650. But we don't know how credible these employees are, and I find it really unlikely they would be allowed to give out major secrets like that so casually. Supposedly, someone did ask Franz if they were using the 4680s, and he just gave somewhat a smug smile, apparently. So you can read into what people are responding to as much as you like, but there is real data here saying that whatever Tesla have done has created a step change in specifications. There is no denying that. But think from a business standpoint, what would make more sense? A, to use your brand new batteries in the quickest car in the world, whilst the line has been down for 6 months, and the batteries are made just down the road, charge a huge profit margin for the cars with them, when your batteries are to a good enough level with a car that has relatively small number of units sold a year. Or B, invest some extra time, money, R&D and resources in improving the chemistry of your oldest form of battery, taking down the production line for half a year, only to have to take down the production line again later to replace the 4680 batteries in a couple of years. I don't see any point on investing in improving the 18650 batteries, and especially not the level of making them the quickest car in the world. It's too big a step change. It simply means now, if they wanted to, whatever these changes Tesla have made, they could also make them to the 2170 batteries, if this was the case, and improve the performance of them a step change too. On the other hand, if it is still the 18650 batteries, then these new changes they've done will also be apparent in the new Model Y factories, which would then mean when we get the 4680s, structural battery packs and casting molds, then the 4680 batteries are going to be that much better again than we expected, which sounds too unlikely. I mean really, the amount of engineering required to get the 18650s to become tabless is just insane to comprehend Tesla would have gone to these extremes. I know it's almost too good to believe that Tesla are possibly using the 4680s, but I think there is a 70% chance they are. But this is such a big deal, because if they've proven that they can hit 10 gigawatt hours a year run rate, it means they have their battery line operational. They just need to refine it before they copy and paste these battery factories around the world. If Tesla can supply the 4680 batteries in time for Texas and Berlin, then once Tesla have demonstrated they can competently do that, just as they demonstrated they could ramp up the Model 3, then the stock price will enter its next cycle and likely trade between $1,500 and $2,000 until there is something else to further catalyze the company. I think I would like to start seeing 50,000 units of Model Ys coming out of Berlin and Texas factories each, perhaps by Q2. I think that will be a good indicator. Even if Tesla are still struggling with the Cybertrucks by then, the batteries are more important. The lifeblood of this company is not depending on the Cybertruck. If Tesla pull that off, it's amazing engineering genius, and will do well for the company. But the real life of Tesla, currently, is about the Model Y. This car is in so much demand, even Elon said it will be the biggest selling car. It's in so much demand, they stopped selling the standard range. It's also cheaper and faster to make than their other models due to all the die casting and the structural battery packs. Why do you think it's Model Y first from Texas and Berlin? Because that's the car that makes so much more profit margin and sells to the masses. Don't get me wrong, Cybertruck will be amazing. Model Y will be Tesla's main moneymaker, and it will come down to how fast they can ramp up the battery production. Next year, when we look at delivery numbers, it will all be about just how fast the ramping up will occur from Texas and Berlin. The stock price will likely be a lot more jumpy when we see Tesla's delivery numbers grow and reach similar numbers as the legacy autos. This is why it's such a big deal if Tesla are already using their 4680s in Model S. And sure, I've heard some people give reasons as to why we're seeing these weight discrepancies, but I haven't seen anyone else do a full breakdown on the math or explain the discrepancies between the new Model S long range and the Plaid weights. Some people may say I'm looking too deep into this, but this is what serious stock analysis looks like. When the Model 3 was going through its ramping up stage, there were companies taking daily aerial photos of the Fremont car park to count how many cars were being produced to get a rough idea of the production numbers. I think it was actually mainly the shorters paying for these. You need to look at anything you can to get an idea of what may be happening in the company. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.